This is going to be my feeble attempt at a vlogmas. So I'm going to try to upload a video, I say try, every day from now until Christmas. And we're going to be covering a variety of topics. But today we are going to be covering gray hair. More specifically, going gray gracefully. And apparently it's like a whole thing and it's not going to be easy. I know some of you have found me through my hair videos of me like destroying my hair and more specifically probably melting it off, especially on this side. If you haven't been privileged enough to see one of those videos, I'll try to link it like here or here, somewhere up here. Anyway, all of my antics have really done a number on my hair. If you can see, like I said, especially this side. And this is second day hair, so don't mind the grease. So on top of destroying my hair with chemicals, I also have a thyroid problem. I have no thyroid. I have a scar here where my thyroid was removed. I had cancer, and I also have an autoimmune disorder. So that doesn't help with thinness of the hair, strength of the hair, texture, those sort of things. My hair is super fine. It breaks really easily. Hold on, my son's stuck in the ball pit. And this is how I found him and why I say I'm going to try and upload a video a day. And anyway, I can't remember where I was at. Anyway, my hair is really thin. It breaks super easily. It's fried. And I do have a lot of fall, especially for a while there when I would even brush my hair, I would just have like tons and tons of hair like in the sink and on the counter. I don't know if any of you have a similar experience. So the hair is just like breaking off. In September, I decided that I was going to give my hair a break. So I gave it a really good haircut, cut quite a bit off. I'll link that video somewhere up here too. And I colored it black. I thought that's all I'm gonna do for a while. I'm gonna see how long I can go just leaving it alone. Well, in 2 weeks, I already noticed like these super pesky gray hairs right in the front. My initial reaction at seeing the grays was to just go ahead and re-dye, especially just around here. But I also noticed when I was editing some of my videos that when people had videoed me from the back, my hair is fading in the back too. So it's like where it was bleached, it's not holding the color. So it's fading in the back as well. So I would have had to recolor my whole head. So I decided that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of me trying to give my hair a break. And I would hold off completely with doing anything to it, coloring anything. I haven't even really been using a lot of hot tools on it, just to kind of see if any of that would help improve the health of my hair. And it really has. I can tell a huge difference in my hair. And if you look back on some of my videos, you can tell a huge difference in my hair health-wise. So I think that I finally come to the conclusion that I'm going to stop fighting nature and I'm just going to go gray. So I just thought, simple, right? No, it's not. It's not simple. It's a process. Upon further research, I discovered that it takes about 2 years, roughly on average, for someone to completely grow out their gray. Obviously, that would depend on your hair length and the amount that you're willing to cut off. Even after that 2-year period, I discovered that gray hair does not mean maintenance-free hair. And if I can find a picture, I'll insert a picture of my dad. His turns yellow, he's a smoker, but also like gray hair just in itself having a different texture. It's more coarse and it's thinner. And I know with mine, I see them all like poked out, like break where they're broken, which causes me a little bit of concern because I'm like, when I do go all completely gray, and I'm guessing around age 50, because I guess there's a 50-50 rule where by 50% of your hair is gray. So maybe by that time, like, and 50% of my hair is gray, is it all gonna be broke off, like sticking out of my head everywhere? Looking a little bit like Albert Einstein or something. Then other things I need to consider is SPF and purple shampoo and using heat on your hair, just so many other things that go into it. It's not as easy as I first had thought. So I'm going to share my opinion here. So don't come for me. Do not come for me. I know you will. I sometimes think that certain people actually look older when they dye their hair their original color instead of just letting it be gray. And I think I notice this more with people who have been gray for a while and then they decide to color their hair. And I don't know if it's because it's so shocking to me, like to see that transformation from like gray to like my color hair, or does it just make them look more like washed out and older? Anyway, let me know what you think below. Do you agree with me? So right now I'm going to show you a little 360 view of what my hair is looking like. Thanks to my 6'3" son for videoing me so high up in the air. So, just kidding. Love you, Q. Anyway, I can say whatever I want because they don't watch my channel anyway.
Get
Turds.
a shot of all my hair.
So with going gray, one of the important things I hear to know is your gray pattern. And I've looked up online and have not been able to figure out why that's important. The only thing I can guess is that maybe if you know your gray pattern, then you can help yourself by maybe cut, color, curling your hair, like different ways to make it like that harsh line of gray not look as noticeable. If you know why this is the gray pattern thing, let me know in the comments. I think the biggest way of knowing how you're gonna gray is by looking at family members who are already gray, because genetics is probably the biggest factor in how you will, if you will, gray. I know there's other ways besides genetics, like stress, diet, thyroid disease, autoimmune disease, environmental factors. Also, smoking or being around secondhand smoke can play a factor, which is why the commercials for a very certain brand of rice shampoo soap tick me off so much. Because they promise these unreasonable things like, if you use this rice soap, your hair will look like the Mangshang, I know I'm butchering this, women, that Asian tribe with the long black hair that never grays. There's probably a reason for that. It's probably genetics. But I digress. Is there a best way to go gray? I think it just depends on your personal preference, and I'm going to share a few ways that I researched and let you know what my thoughts are on those. The first way is just growing it out. Why are you looking at me? This is the route I'm thinking of going. However, it is a long process. Remember, we said it takes roughly 2 years to grow your hair out, and this process can be not so flattering, especially if you have a harsh gray line. And I could change my mind within those 2 years because I don't know how long I can hold out without doing something to my hair. Another reason I'm leaning this way is because I think right now I'm just lightly salted. I don't have a lot of gray. So I think it wouldn't be as difficult to grow out and be as crazy noticeable because it's mostly in the front, like these strands here and a little bit on the top. So I think I wouldn't have as harsh of a line as someone who is completely gray, like my husband.
Gotta quit doing that.
Another reason this is the way I'm leaning is because I don't have the time, energy, or money to make a ton of salon appointments to kind of hide it with color or to like fade it in with coloring. The route a lot of women go is that they can just cut their hair. They'll do layers or add texture to kind of like break up that harsh line and give your hair a little bit of dimension. And some women just go balls to the walls and will straight up do a pixie cut. This isn't an option for me because my dome needs all the hair it can get to kind of hide behind. The next most common way is to play with color. You can go to the salon and get a mixture of high and low lights, and like I said earlier, that will add texture and dimension to your hair and kind of break up the gray so it can grow in and look a little bit more natural. This also can make thinning hair look a little bit thicker, which is something that I might be interested in if I had the funds available to do so and the time. There are so many ways that you and your stylist can discuss to go through the transition together in the best way possible. Another way I like is to go from like dark hair to just kind of lightening it or going to a more like ashy color. Lastly, I want to touch on the strip method, and if you don't know what that is, like I didn't until I started researching it, a lot of women will just take like this upper portion of the hair and they'll dye it. They will continue to dye it and let the underneath just be natural and gray or whatever, let it grow out. And then when they get to a color that they feel comfortable with, they just change where their part is in their hair, and then it's gray because they've just did this strip on the top layer. Anyway, that's all for this video. I'm going to try to do probably not monthly because I don't really have enough gray to make much of a monthly update, because this is actually about 2 months worth of growth and I don't think it's that noticeable. So I probably like every 6 months do an update and see where we're at. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.
This is fucking hilarious.
You're mean.
Yeah.
You have more gray hair than I do.
Yeah, but I'm not the one making a fucking video about it.
No, because you're watching me. Stop watching me.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Stop watching me. It's embarrassing. I'm just losing it in the background.
He thinks it's funny what you're doing. To the walls, huh? What do you do? Edit everything in and out?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Can you stop cutting your food?
What to do? you change your voice, Rachel?
You got something to say?
I said it.